We see stories of conflict every single day. They usually feature women as victims and men as protectors or perpetrators. These stories rely on gender essentialisms, or notions that women are inherently vulnerable and men are inherently violent. Gender essentialisms are common in popular culture, but we also see them in humanitarian media. Humanitarian organizations publish images and stories that establish women and children as the primary victims of war. They reduce the complexity of conflict to a single story of who can be a victim. This story is wrong. In conflicts around the world, civilian men are twice as likely to die as civilian women. They are more likely to be victims of abduction, detention, torture, executions, and massacres. Men suffer conflict-related sexual violence and lasting psychological trauma. In short, men are as much victims of war as are women, and they are often targeted precisely because they are male. The stakes could not be higher. When humanitarian media neglects civilian men, it abandons the people most likely to die. I set out to answer the following question. To what extent are gender essentialisms prevalent in global humanitarian media today? I analyzed coverage of the war in Tigray, Ethiopia. In 2022, the Tigray War was the largest conflict in the world, killing 600,000 civilians. Data suggests that of all civilian fatalities due to violence, 90% were civilian men. I analyzed over 800 images and documents from organizations such as the UN, the Red Cross, and Amnesty International. My thesis is the most comprehensive analysis of gender essentialisms in visual and textual humanitarian media to date. I found that organizations were significantly more likely to publish images of women. They showed women as refugees and mothers in need of aid. Men were more often shown providing aid, if they were shown at all. Women were described as weak, starving, and victimized. Male vulnerability was rarely mentioned. This was true even for children. Organizations consistently focused on girls' vulnerability, despite the fact that boys were twice as likely to be killed. I interviewed UN experts and Tigrayan activists who emphasized that gender essentialisms harm men and women. They reinforce women's marginalization, enable violence against civilian men, deny male survivors access to aid, and perpetuate cycles of violence. In dictating whom we consider vulnerable, humanitarian narratives influence public opinion, policy, and foreign intervention. When organizations promote gender essentialist stories of conflict, they may harm the very people they seek to help. I advocate for representation and support for all victims and survivors, even if it complicates the stories we tell. Thank you.